The alien girl's dream. In the distant galaxy of Valeria, on a small and vibrant planet called Zephyr, lived a girl named Lyra. Unlike her friends and family, who spent their days exploring the lush forests and shimmering rivers of their world, Lyra felt a stirring in her heart for something more. She often gazed up at the sky, watching the stars twinkle like diamonds scattered across a dark velvet canvas, and dreamed of adventures far beyond her home. Lyra was not like most of the other inhabitants of Zephyr. With skin that shimmered like the surface of a calm sea and hair as bright as the morning sun, she often stood out in her community. While her peers played games and sang songs, she spent her time poring over old books and holographic maps, fascinated by stories of humans from another world, Earth. The tales spoke of their ingenuity, creativity, and an unwavering spirit that could overcome any obstacle. This spirit resonated deeply within Lyra, igniting a fire of determination in her heart. Life on Zephyr was peaceful, yet the shadows of the past loomed over its inhabitants. Once a thriving civilization, the planet had been ravaged by war, leaving scars that still marred its beauty. Humans had come to Zephyr decades ago, seeking resources and establishing trade routes. They'd brought with them technology that transformed the way the Zephyrians lived, but it also introduced a hierarchy that marginalized many of their own. The wealth gap widened, creating tension between the two species. While some Zephyrians embraced the changes, others, including Lyra, yearned for a time when their world was solely theirs, a time of freedom and self-determination. One day, as she wandered through the bustling marketplace, filled with the scent of exotic fruits and the sounds of laughter, Lyra overheard a group of humans discussing a new initiative, the Galactic Unity Project. One of them said, his voice booming. "We're looking for ambassadors from different worlds to foster cooperation and understanding. Imagine the possibilities. We need to choose candidates who can represent their people." Lyra's heart raced. This could be her chance to connect with the humans, to share her people's stories, and to help bridge the gap that had formed between them. She approached the group, her palms sweaty and her heart pounding in her chest. "Excuse me," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "How can someone like me apply?" The humans turned to look at her, their expressions a mix of curiosity and surprise. One of them, a tall woman with silver hair and kind eyes, smiled gently. "It's open to anyone, really. We're looking for individuals who can share their culture and learn from others. We believe that true unity can only happen through understanding and empathy." Lyra felt a spark of hope igniting within her. This was what she had always dreamed of. She hurried home, her mind racing with thoughts of how she could represent her people. But as she entered her small dwelling, her excitement faded slightly. Her parents had worked hard to provide for their family, but life had been a struggle ever since the humans arrived. They lived in a modest home at the edge of the forest, their yard filled with patches of wildflowers and tall grass that swayed in the gentle breeze. The warmth of her home contrasted with the doubts that crept into her mind. "What's wrong, Lyra?" her mother asked, noticing the worried look on her face. "You seem troubled." Lyra took a deep breath, steeling her resolve. "I want to apply for the Galactic Unity Project. I believe I can help bring our worlds closer together." Her father shook his head, his expression somber. "Sweetheart, it's a noble idea, but you must understand the realities we face. The humans may not be interested in our voices. They may not see us as equals. But I have to try." Lyra insisted, her voice rising. "I want to show them who we are, to share our stories and traditions. We have so much to offer." Her mother exchanged a worried glance with her father, sensing Lyra's determination. "If this is what you truly want, then you must follow your heart. But remember, it won't be easy. You may face challenges that seem insurmountable." Lyra nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and fear. The journey ahead was uncertain, but she knew she had to take that first step. That night, as she lay in bed, staring up at the glowing stars visible through her window, she felt a surge of determination. The stars held the promise of adventures yet to come. The next day, she gathered her courage and made her way to the selection center, a grand structure built with shimmering crystals and luminous technology. As she approached, she felt a whirlwind of emotions: anxiety, hope, and excitement. Would she truly be able to represent her people and forge a new path? Inside, she was greeted by a bustling crowd of Zephyrians and humans alike, each person eager to prove themselves worthy. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as individuals shared their dreams and aspirations. Lyra stood quietly at the back, observing the others as they presented their talents and ideas. Some were adorned in elegant clothing, their skin glowing under the artificial lights, while others had come dressed in traditional attire, proudly showcasing their culture. When her turn finally arrived, Lyra stepped forward, her heart racing. The panel of judges, a mix of humans and Zephyrians, looked at her expectantly. With a deep breath, she began to speak. "My name is Lyra, and I am here to represent the people of Zephyr. We are not just a resource for others. We are a civilization with rich traditions, art, and stories that deserve to be heard." As she shared tales of her home, the lush forests, the vibrant festivals, and the deep-rooted values of her people, she could see the judges leaning forward, captivated by her words. She spoke of the hardships they had endured and the resilience that had forged their identity. With every word, she felt more alive, fueled by the desire to create a bond between their worlds. After her presentation, the judges exchanged glances, some nodding in approval while others remained skeptical. One human, a stern-looking man with deep lines etched on his face, spoke up. "Your passion is admirable, but can you truly represent your people? How will you navigate the complexities of our worlds?" Lyra squared her shoulders, unwavering in her conviction. "I may not have all the answers, but I promise to listen, to learn, and to share the wisdom of my people. Our strength lies in our unity, and I believe together we can create a brighter future." A moment of silence hung in the air, and then the stern man sighed. "Very well. We'll consider your application. The final decisions will be made soon." As Lyra left the selection center, her heart swelled with hope. This was just the beginning of her journey. She knew there would be challenges ahead, but she was ready to face them. With her dreams ignited, she would not only represent herself, but also give a voice to the countless others who longed for connection and understanding. Back in her small home, Lyra shared the news with her parents, their faces lighting up with pride. They embraced her, and for the first time in a long while, she felt as if the shadows of the past were beginning to lift. She was no longer just a girl from Zephyr. She was an ambassador of hope, ready to bridge the gap between her world and the humans. As the days turned into weeks, Lyra's anticipation grew. Each moment felt like a step toward something greater, a path that would shape not only her future, but also the future of her people. Little did she know, the adventures that awaited her would test her courage and determination like never before. And so, Lyra stood on the brink of an extraordinary journey, ready to uncover the true meaning of connection and cooperation. The stars above whispered promises of what was to come, and in her heart, she knew she would do everything in her power to fulfill her dreams. Trials of the heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of crimson and gold, Lyra stood at the edge of the forest that bordered her home. She gazed out at the distant mountains, their silhouettes sharp against the fading light. The tranquility of the scene was a stark contrast to the whirlwind of thoughts racing through her mind. The selection for the Galactic Unity Project was just days away, and every second felt like an eternity. Her heart thumped with both anticipation and anxiety. Lyra had spent countless hours practicing her presentation, refining her words, and imagining how she would convey the essence of her culture to the judges. Yet, as she watched the stars begin to twinkle in the darkening sky, doubt crept in. Would her voice truly matter? Would the humans be willing to listen to a girl from Zephyr? Determined to quell her fears, she took a deep breath and closed her eyes, allowing the cool evening breeze to wash over her. She could almost hear the whispers of her ancestors, urging her to be brave. "You are the light of your people," they seemed to say. Let that light shine. The following day, Lyra immersed herself in preparations for the selection. She gathered artifacts from her home, hand-woven textiles that told stories of her family, intricate carvings that depicted the flora and fauna of Zephyr, and a small crystal pendant that had been passed down through generations. Each item represented a piece of her identity, a fragment of the tapestry that made up her culture. Lyra's parents watched with a mixture of pride and concern as she transformed their living space into a makeshift presentation area. "You have a gift for storytelling, my daughter," her mother said, her voice soft yet filled with encouragement. "Remember, it is not just what you say but how you say it that will resonate with others." As the day of the selection approached, Lyra felt a blend of excitement and trepidation. On the morning of the event, she donned her favorite traditional dress, a flowing garment adorned with vibrant patterns that mirrored the landscapes of Zephyr. The colors felt alive against her skin, energizing her spirit. Looking in the mirror, she saw not just herself, but the hopes of her people reflected back at her. Arriving at the selection center, she was struck by the diversity of candidates gathered in the vast hall. Zephyrians mingled with humans, sharing laughter and stories. The air was thick with a palpable sense of competition, but beneath that was an undercurrent of camaraderie. They were all seeking something greater: connection, understanding, a future that was brighter than the past. Lyra's turn came sooner than she expected. As she stood before the panel of judges, her palms felt clammy, but she reminded herself of her purpose. With each word she spoke, she could feel the warmth of her culture flowing through her veins. She shared stories of the vibrant festivals of Zephyr, where laughter and music filled the air, and where every individual was celebrated for their unique contributions. She spoke of the sacred connection her people had with nature, emphasizing their respect for the land and all living things. "Unity," she declared, her voice steady and clear, "is not just about coexistence. It is about understanding and valuing our differences. It is about finding strength in diversity." The judges listened intently, their expressions shifting from skepticism to intrigue. Lyra could see the sparks of curiosity igniting in their eyes as she unveiled the cultural treasures she had brought with her. The crystal pendant, when held up to the light, refracted colors that danced around the room. "This," she said, "is a symbol of hope. It represents the dreams and aspirations of my people." When she finished, a moment of silence filled the room. Then the head judge, a woman with deep-set eyes and a gentle smile, leaned forward. "Thank you, Lyra. Your passion is evident, and your culture is rich with stories that deserve to be shared. But tell us, what do you hope to achieve through this project?" Lyra took a deep breath, grounding herself in the weight of the moment. "I hope to create a bridge between our worlds, to foster a sense of community where we can learn from one another and build a future that respects our past. I want to empower my people to share their voices, to remind us all that we are stronger together." The judges exchanged glances, nodding thoughtfully. As she stepped down from the stage, Lyra felt a mix of relief and exhilaration. She had done her best, and no matter the outcome, she was proud of herself for speaking her truth. Weeks passed in a blur as Lyra awaited the results. Life in Zephyr continued, with its daily rhythms and challenges. Yet the anticipation of the selection lingered like a persistent shadow. In the meantime, she found solace in her community, volunteering at local gatherings, helping organize cultural events, and sharing the stories of her ancestors with the younger generations. Each interaction rekindled her belief in the power of connection and understanding. Then, one fateful morning, as the sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm glow over Zephyr, an official announcement was made. The selection panel had chosen the ambassadors for the Galactic Unity Project. With bated breath, Lyra gathered with her family and friends around the central plaza, where a holographic display lit up the air. Her heart raced as names were called, one by one. The crowd erupted in cheers for their chosen representatives, and Lyra's stomach twisted with nerves. As the final name echoed through the plaza, a gasp rippled through the crowd. Lyra of Zephyr. A surge of joy coursed through her veins. quickly followed by disbelief. Had she truly been chosen? As cheers erupted around her, Laura felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. This was a moment of triumph, not just for her, but for all the people of Zephyr. With her family enveloping her in a warm embrace, Lyra was filled with a sense of purpose. She had earned her place among the ambassadors, but she also understood the weight of the responsibility that lay ahead. The path before her would not be easy. She would face challenges that would test her resolve and her belief in the unity she so passionately advocated for. Days turned into weeks as preparations for the Galactic Unity project began. Lyra was introduced to her fellow ambassadors, humans and Zephyrians from various backgrounds, each with their own stories and aspirations. Among them was a human named Orion, whose fiery spirit matched her own. He was a brilliant inventor, eager to share his technological advancements with the galaxy. As they worked together, a bond formed between Lyra and Orion, grounded in mutual respect and shared dreams. They spent long nights brainstorming ways to merge their cultures, combining technology with tradition to create a program that would benefit both species. Lyra introduced Orion to the art of storytelling, while he taught her about the wonders of innovation. But as their connection deepened, Lyra found herself grappling with unfamiliar feelings. The warmth of Orion's laughter, the spark in his eyes when he spoke about his dreams, ignited something within her that she had never anticipated. They became partners in both work and friendship, their shared enthusiasm for the project forging a bond that transcended their differences. Yet, the reality of their worlds remained. With each passing day, Lyra was reminded of the challenges that lay ahead. There were voices of dissent among her people, skeptics who believed that the humans could never truly understand their culture. There were also whispers of those who felt that Lyra's involvement in the project would only lead to further exploitation. The tension mounted as the official launch of the Galactic Unity project approached. There would be a grand summit where ambassadors would present their visions for collaboration, a chance to demonstrate the power of unity. But with every moment of excitement came a weight of uncertainty. Would the people accept this new path? Would they embrace the potential for collaboration, or would fear and skepticism overshadow their hopes? Lyra confided in Orion about her fears, pouring her heart out beneath the stars on a clear night. What if I fail? What if they don't see the value in what we're trying to do? Orion placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We're all in this together, Lyra. Every step forward is a step toward understanding. Even if we face challenges, we can learn from them. Together. Lyra nodded, grateful for his support. As the days dwindled before the summit, she channeled her energy into preparing her presentation. She wanted to show not only the beauty of Zephyr, but also the strength of her people's spirit. The night before the summit, she gathered her family and friends, inviting them to share their hopes and fears. They filled her small home, the air buzzing with energy and anticipation. As stories were shared, Lyra felt a sense of unity enveloping the room. Her heart swelled with pride for her people, for the resilience they had shown through generations. The day of the summit dawned bright and clear, the air electric with excitement. Lyra, dressed in her vibrant traditional attire, felt a mixture of nerves and determination as she stood before a vast audience of Zephyrians and humans. The grand hall was adorned with decorations that represented both cultures, a symbol of the collaboration they sought to achieve. As she stepped onto the stage, her heart raced. She scanned the crowd, searching for familiar faces among the sea of attendees. She saw her parents, beaming with pride, and Orion standing at the side, offering her an encouraging smile. In that moment, she felt a surge of confidence wash over her. Lyra spoke passionately about the importance of unity and understanding. She shared the stories of her people, the values that had shaped them, and the beauty of their culture. She emphasized that true collaboration required open hearts and minds, a willingness to embrace differences rather than shy away from them. As she concluded her presentation, the crowd erupted into applause. It was a sound filled with hope, a promise of what could be achieved through cooperation. For the first time, Lyra felt a glimmer of possibility flickering in the air. However, the journey was just beginning. After the summit, tensions arose as misunderstandings and cultural clashes came to the forefront. Some Zephyrians were resistant to change, fearing that their way of life would be overshadowed by the humans. On the other hand, certain humans struggled to comprehend the depth of Zephyrian culture, often reducing it to mere aesthetics without recognizing its significance. Lyra found herself caught in the middle of these tensions, navigating the delicate balance between her people and their human counterparts. She organized gatherings where stories could be exchanged, fostering a dialogue that emphasized empathy and understanding. With Orion by her side, they worked tirelessly to create a platform for sharing experiences, bridging the gap between their worlds. Yet, with each event, Lyra faced increasing pushback. Some Zephyrians felt that her efforts to connect with the humans were misguided, that she was abandoning her own people for the sake of progress. Confrontations arose, and whispers of betrayal echoed through the community. One evening, as she walked through the forest, lost in thought, she encountered a group of her peers gathered near the river. They were deep in discussion, their voices tinged with frustration. She approached cautiously, hoping to lend an ear. "Lyra thinks she can change everything by talking to the humans," one of them scoffed, crossing his arms defiantly. "But what about us? What about our traditions?" Lyra's heart sank. "I'm not trying to change who we are. I want to share our culture, to show that we can coexist without losing our identity." Another voice chimed in, more compassionate but still skeptical. "But what if they take too much? What if we lose ourselves in the process?" Lyra took a step closer, her voice steady. "Change is daunting, I understand that. But if we don't engage, if we don't share our stories, we risk being erased. We have so much to offer, and we deserve to be heard." The conversation shifted, and tensions slowly eased as she listened to their concerns. They began to share their own fears about the future, the uncertainty that came with forging new relationships. In that moment, Lyra realized the power of dialogue. It wasn't just about presenting her culture. It was about creating a space where everyone felt safe to express their thoughts and feelings. She organized community forums, inviting both Zephyrians and humans to share their experiences, creating a tapestry of voices that reflected the diversity of their worlds. Over time, the walls began to crumble. People from both sides started to see one another as individuals rather than representatives of their species. Together, they forged new connections. Artists collaborated, sharing their crafts and creating beautiful hybrid pieces that represented both cultures. Scientists exchanged knowledge, finding innovative solutions to shared challenges. Yet, as unity blossomed, so did complications. A faction of humans, resistant to the project, began to stir discontent, sowing seeds of mistrust among their ranks. They claimed that the Zephyrians were unworthy partners, that their traditions were primitive and would hold back progress. Rumors spread, casting a shadow over the budding relationships Lyra had worked so hard to build. Lyra found herself at the forefront of the conflict, organizing counterarguments to dispel the misconceptions being propagated. The weight of responsibility felt heavy on her shoulders, but she drew strength from her friends, family, and the new relationships forming between the two cultures. With the summit's success and the increasing collaboration between the two worlds, they decided to hold a cultural festival, an event that would celebrate the strengths of both societies, allowing them to share their traditions and forge bonds in a spirit of unity. As the day of the festival approached, excitement filled the air. The vibrant colors of the Zephyrian attire mingled with the crisp lines of human fashion, and the sweet aroma of traditional dishes wafted through the streets. Booths were set up, showcasing art, music, and cuisine from both cultures. On the day of the festival, the plaza buzzed with activity. Laughter echoed as children danced to music that blended traditional Zephyrian melodies with modern human beats. Lyra and Orion moved among the crowd, feeling the pulse of connection around them. However, amidst the joy, there were whispers of dissent. The faction of humans opposed to the collaboration had planned a demonstration to disrupt the festival, aiming to undermine the progress made thus far. Lyra caught wind of their plans just hours before the event, her heart racing with fear for the safety of everyone attending. Determined not to let fear overshadow the festival, she gathered a group of ambassadors, both Zephyrian and human, to come together and address the dissenting voices. "We must not let anger or fear dictate our actions," she urged, her voice steady. "This festival is a testament to our unity. Let's show them that we will not be divided." As the festival began, the atmosphere was electric with excitement. The vibrant displays, the laughter, and the music created a tapestry of connection that filled Lyra's heart with hope. But as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the festivities, the dissenters arrived. Lyra's breath caught in her throat as she saw the group approaching, their banners held high with slogans that aimed to incite division. The energy shifted, and a murmur of apprehension rippled through the crowd. Yet, Lyra refused to let fear take hold. Stepping forward, she addressed the crowd, her voice amplified through the speakers. "Today, we stand together, united in our celebration of culture and community. We will not allow a few voices to drown out the joy and connection we have created." Orion joined her side, his presence reassuring. "This festival is a symbol of our progress, a reminder that we are stronger together. Let us not turn on one another, but embrace our differences as a source of strength." As they spoke, the crowd began to rally around them. Laughter and music resumed, drowning out the dissenters' chants. The Zephyrians and humans joined hands, forming a circle of unity that enveloped the plaza. The dissenters, taken aback by the overwhelming show of solidarity, faltered. Unable to break the spirit of camaraderie, they retreated, their banners falling limp at their sides. With the threat dissipated, the festival continued, a jubilant celebration of diversity and connection. Lyra's heart swelled with pride as she watched her people come together with the humans, sharing laughter, stories, and traditions. That night, as the stars twinkled overhead, Lyra felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. She'd have faced the shadows of doubt and division, yet through it all, she had emerged stronger. The festival was a testament to the resilience of their spirits and the potential that lay in unity. In the days that followed, the impact of the festival rippled through both cultures. Conversations sparked, friendships deepened, and collaborations flourished. The Galactic Unity Project began to take shape, a beacon of hope that illuminated the path toward a brighter future. But as Lyra reveled in the success of the festival, she also felt the weight of the challenges ahead. The journey toward true unity was far from over. There were still divisions to heal and stories to share, and as she looked up at the stars, she knew that her mission had only just begun. With renewed determination, she embraced the challenges of tomorrow, ready to continue her journey of bridging worlds and forging connections. Lyra was no longer just an ambassador. She was a catalyst for change, a beacon of hope in a galaxy yearning for unity. The trials of the heart had only strengthened her resolve, and she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Threads of connection. The aftermath of the festival left a profound impact on the hearts of both Zephyrians and humans. In the following weeks, Lyra noticed a renewed sense of community within her hometown. People were eager to share their traditions, eager to learn from one another. The air buzzed with excitement and possibility, and Lyra felt a sense of purpose radiating through her. However, the complexities of merging two distinct cultures came with challenges that required patience and understanding. Many Zephyrians remained skeptical of the human motives, while some humans struggled to appreciate the depth of Zephyrian traditions. As ambassadors, Lyra and her fellow representatives faced the daunting task of bridging these divides while navigating their own evolving identities. One evening, while meeting with her fellow ambassadors, Lyra gathered around a large table strewn with colorful maps, art supplies, and cultural artifacts. They brainstormed ideas for initiatives that could further strengthen their collaboration. Orion, sitting across from her, suggested an art exchange program that would allow artists from both worlds to collaborate on projects that highlighted their unique perspectives. "That's brilliant," Lyra exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. Art has a way of transcending barriers. If we can showcase our creativity together, we can foster a deeper understanding of our cultures. The group quickly rallied around the idea, brainstorming potential locations for the art showcases and discussing the types of projects they could create. They envisioned murals that depicted the harmony of nature and technology, sculptures that combined elements from both cultures, and installations that invited interaction and exploration. As they planned, Lara couldn't shake the feeling that their efforts were crucial, but she also knew they needed to address the fears that lingered. To facilitate dialogue, she proposed a series of cultural workshops where community members could come together to share stories, traditions, and even their doubts. "We need to create spaces for open conversations," Lyra urged. "We can't just showcase our art and expect understanding. We have to engage with each other on a deeper level." With enthusiasm, the ambassadors set out to organize the workshops. Flyers were distributed, and the community was invited to participate in discussions, storytelling sessions, and collaborative art projects. As the dates approached, excitement mingled with apprehension. Some were eager to join while others remained skeptical of the endeavor. On the first day of the workshop series, the community gathered in a large hall adorned with vibrant decorations that reflected the artistry of both cultures. Laura stood at the front, her heart racing with anticipation. She welcomed everyone, emphasizing the importance of connection and understanding. "Today is about more than just sharing art. It's about sharing ourselves," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "We come from different backgrounds, but we all share the same desire for connection." As participants split into smaller groups, conversations began to flow. Laura moved among them, listening as individuals shared their fears and hopes. Some Zephyrians expressed concerns about losing their traditions, while humans shared their struggles to comprehend the nuances of Zephyrian culture. During one session, a young Zephyrian artist named Kira spoke passionately about her work, revealing the inspiration behind her vibrant paintings of the forest. "This is my way of honoring my ancestors," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "It's not just about creating art, it's about remembering where we come from." A human participant, Mark, responded thoughtfully. "I never realized how deeply your art is connected to your heritage. I'd love to learn more about your process and what it means to you." Laura watched as connections formed, the barriers slowly breaking down. It was a beautiful dance of sharing, where each voice mattered, and every story was woven into the larger narrative. As the workshop series progressed, participants began to forge friendships, discovering common ground amidst their differences. But not everyone was on board with the initiative. A small group of dissenters, fueled by skepticism and fear, began to voice their opposition more aggressively. They claimed that the workshops were an attempt to dilute Zephyrian culture, a strategy to erase their identity. Laura felt the weight of their words, their anger echoing in her mind as she returned home after a long day of workshops. "Lyra," her mother said one evening, sensing her daughter's turmoil, "it's natural to feel overwhelmed by criticism. Remember, not everyone will understand what you're trying to achieve." "I know, but it hurts," Lyra confessed, running a hand through her hair. "I just want to bring people together to celebrate our differences. Why can't they see that?" Her mother embraced her, a comforting presence amidst the storm of doubt. Change is often met with resistance, but every step you take, every conversation you have, is a step toward understanding. Trust the process. Encouraged by her mother's wisdom, Laura steeled herself for the challenges ahead. She returned to the workshops with renewed determination, reminding herself that fostering unity would require resilience and patience. In the following weeks, the workshops grew in popularity, attracting participants from both cultures eager to engage in meaningful dialogue. As friendships blossomed, Laura felt the momentum building. She saw the potential for a vibrant community that embraced both Zephyrian and human traditions. One evening, as the sun set, casting a golden glow over the plaza, Laura organized a special collaborative art night. Artists from both cultures would come together to create a mural that celebrated their shared values, resilience, unity, and respect for nature. Under the evening sky, Laura watched as laughter filled the air. Groups of artists exchanged brushes and ideas, blending their styles into a tapestry of colors and forms. Orion was busy sketching alongside Kira, their collaborative spirit infectious. As the mural took shape, Laura felt a sense of belonging wash over her. This was what she had envisioned, a place where stories could intertwine and creativity could flourish. She moved among the groups, capturing the moments of collaboration and joy, her heart swelling with pride. But as the night deepened, a tense atmosphere began to settle. From the shadows, a few dissenters stood watching, their expressions darkened by skepticism. They whispered amongst themselves, casting glances at the mural that represented a new beginning. Feeling a surge of protectiveness for the artists and the efforts they had poured into the mural, Laura approached the group. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice steady. One of the dissenters, a man named Jarek, stepped forward. "We're here to make sure our culture isn't lost in this charade," he said, his tone harsh. "This isn't a charade," Laura replied, keeping her composure. "This is a celebration of our differences, a way to honor who we are while embracing new connections." Jarek shook his head. "You talk of unity, but what about the erosion of our identity? This mural may seem beautiful, but it's a symbol of dilution." As Laura prepared to respond, she noticed Orion approaching from behind. He placed a hand on her shoulder, grounding her amidst the confrontation. "We're not erasing anything," he said calmly, addressing the group. "We're creating something new, a fusion of our cultures that honors the past while looking toward the future." Lyra felt the tension in the air shift as Orion spoke, his words resonating with the crowd around them. Art has always been about evolution. We're not losing our identity, we're expanding it. Our stories are intertwined, and together, we can create a narrative that honors both of our cultures. Slowly, the dissenters began to soften. Jarek crossed his arms, but considered Orion's words. "But what if this leads to a loss of authenticity?" he challenged. Laura stepped forward, her voice steady. "Authenticity isn't solely defined by isolation. It's about embracing change while holding onto our roots. We can honor our traditions while also allowing space for growth. The world is evolving, and so must we." As the conversation unfolded, other members of the crowd began to chime in, sharing their own stories of connection and understanding. One Zephyrian woman spoke about how her grandmother had taught her the importance of adaptability, while a human man shared how he had learned to appreciate the richness of Zephyrian culture through friendship. The atmosphere shifted further, and Jarek's expression softened. "I just don't want to see us fade away," he admitted, his voice quiet. "And we won't," Lyra reassured him. "Together, we can ensure that our stories are preserved while also welcoming the new. This mural is a testament to our journey, a celebration of who we are and who we can become." With that, the tension slowly dissipated. Jarek remained skeptical, but the conversation had opened a door for dialogue. As the night continued, Lyra felt a renewed sense of hope. The mural became a symbol not just of unity, but also of resilience, a representation of their journey toward understanding. Over the next few months, the collaborative art initiative blossomed into a larger movement. Artists from both cultures created stunning pieces that adorned public spaces, sparking conversations and igniting curiosity. The mural, now completed, stood proudly in the plaza, its vibrant colors reflecting the diverse threads that intertwined to create a beautiful tapestry of connection. As the project gained momentum, Laura found herself invited to speak at various gatherings and conferences, sharing her experiences and the importance of fostering unity. She traveled to neighboring communities, engaging with individuals eager to learn about Zephyrian culture and share their own. During one such trip, she encountered a group of students eager to understand the essence of Zephyr. As she shared stories of her homeland, she saw their eyes widen with fascination. They were hungry for knowledge, eager to learn about the beauty of her culture. In those moments, she felt a profound sense of purpose, realizing that every story she shared was a thread woven into the larger narrative of connection. Yet, with every step forward, the shadows of dissent lingered. While many embraced the collaboration, pockets of resistance remained. Some Zephyrians grew frustrated with what they perceived as a loss of their heritage, while certain humans expressed concern about potential cultural appropriation. Laura grappled with the complexities of these discussions. How could she honor the unique aspects of both cultures while fostering a spirit of collaboration? She sought guidance from her mentors and elders, engaging in conversations that delved deep into the heart of identity and belonging. One evening, while sitting beneath the stars with Orion, she voiced her concerns. "I want to ensure we honor our roots, but I fear that in trying to bring us together, we might unintentionally erase something beautiful," she admitted. Orion nodded thoughtfully. "That's a valid concern, Lyra, but perhaps the key lies in transparency. We can invite conversations that address these fears head-on. We have to be willing to listen and adapt, ensuring everyone feels valued in this journey." Inspired by Orion's words, Laura organized a community forum where people could voice their concerns openly. She invited leaders from both cultures to facilitate discussions, creating a safe space for dialogue. The forum drew a diverse crowd, and as participants shared their perspectives, the discussions were passionate yet respectful. Some Zephyrians expressed their fears of losing their culture, while certain humans shared their desire to understand and appreciate the richness of Zephyrian heritage. Laura moderated the discussions, her heart swelling with pride as people engaged in meaningful dialogue. "This isn't about erasing our identities, it's about expanding them," she said. "We can celebrate our uniqueness while learning from one another." As the forum unfolded, the conversations took on a life of their own. Participants began to share their personal stories, weaving a rich tapestry of experiences that reflected the complexities of their identities. There were moments of vulnerability where individuals spoke of their struggles to find a balance between tradition and progress. Through this process, Laura discovered the true power of connection, how sharing stories could foster understanding and empathy. She witnessed individuals who had once been skeptical begin to embrace the possibilities of collaboration, inspired by the stories of resilience and hope. As the night drew to a close, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of possibility. Laura felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she observed the connections forming among the attendees. The discussions had sown seeds of understanding that would grow in the weeks to come. In the following months, the community continued to evolve, embracing the spirit of collaboration and understanding. Lyra and Orion, along with their fellow ambassadors, organized cultural festivals that celebrated the richness of both cultures, showcasing their unique traditions of fostering unity. The mural, once a symbol of division, had transformed into a beacon of hope, a reminder of the beauty that emerged when differences were embraced. And as the stars twinkled above, Lyra felt a sense of fulfillment radiating within her. Yet, amid the progress, she understood that the journey was far from complete. There would always be challenges to face, complexities to navigate, and voices that needed to be heard. But as long as she stood alongside her community, embracing the power of connection, she knew they could forge a path toward a brighter, more unified future. With the threads of connection woven into the fabric of their lives, Lyra was more determined than ever to continue her mission. A mission rooted in understanding, empathy, and the unwavering belief that unity could be forged through the shared experiences of their intertwined stories. The confluence of hearts. As the seasons shifted and the vibrancy of the mural continued to draw visitors, the atmosphere in the town evolved into a tapestry woven from the rich threads of Zephyrian and human culture. Lyra and her fellow ambassadors had sparked a movement, but it was clear that sustaining it required ongoing effort and dedication. Laura felt a renewed urgency in her mission, knowing that genuine understanding and connection couldn't be achieved in isolation. One crisp autumn day, as golden leaves danced in the breeze, Laura gathered with the ambassadors at the plaza. The recent workshops had laid a strong foundation, but she sensed that they needed a new initiative, something that would create lasting bonds between their cultures and showcase the beauty of their collective identity. "We've made incredible strides," she began, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "But I think it's time for a bigger event, something that invites everyone to participate, celebrate, and share their stories." Orion leaned forward, intrigued. "What do you have in mind?" "What if we organized a cultural exchange festival?" Lyra proposed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We could showcase music, art, food, and storytelling from both cultures, inviting everyone to participate in a grand celebration." The group buzzed with energy as ideas flowed. Kira suggested inviting local musicians to perform, while another ambassador, Malik, proposed hosting cooking demonstrations that highlighted traditional dishes from both cultures. They envisioned stalls filled with crafts, interactive workshops, and storytelling sessions where participants could share their experiences. "We can call it the Festival of Unity," Laura said, her heart racing at the thought. "A day where we come together to celebrate our differences while embracing our shared humanity." Over the next few weeks, the ambassadors poured their hearts into planning the festival. They collaborated with local artists, musicians, and chefs, reaching out to community members from both cultures to ensure the event reflected the diversity and richness of their experiences. As the festival date approached, anticipation filled the air. Laura watched as the plaza transformed into a vibrant hub of creativity. Colorful banners adorned the streets, and stalls were set up, each showcasing unique crafts and cuisines. Children painted their faces with symbols from both cultures, while adults engaged in lively conversations, exchanging stories and laughter. On the day of the festival, the sun shone brightly, illuminating the plaza and casting a warm glow over the festivities. The air was thick with the enticing aromas of Zephyrian delicacies mixed with traditional human dishes. Laughter echoed as families gathered, the sound of music weaving through the atmosphere. Laura moved through the crowd, her heart swelling with pride. She stopped to watch Kira's painting station, where children enthusiastically dipped brushes into vibrant colors, creating their interpretations of the mural. Nearby, Malik demonstrated the art of making Zephyrian flatbread, while humans marveled at the skillful technique. As the afternoon unfolded, the festival came alive with energy. The main stage featured a lineup of performers from both cultures. Local musicians strummed guitars, while Zephyrian drummers created a pulsating rhythm that resonated in the hearts of the audience. Laura took a moment to soak it all in, marveling at the beautiful fusion of talent and culture on display. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, casting a golden hue over the plaza, Laura stepped onto the stage to address the crowd. Her heart raced with excitement as she took a deep breath, gazing out at the sea of faces, both familiar and new. "Welcome, everyone, to the Festival of Unity," she exclaimed, her voice carrying a sense of warmth. "Today we gather not just to celebrate our cultures, but to celebrate our shared humanity. Each of us brings a unique story, a piece of ourselves that contributes to this beautiful tapestry." The crowd erupted in applause, and Lyra felt a surge of energy as she continued. "Let's embrace our differences, learn from one another, and strengthen the bonds that connect us. Together, we can create a future that honors our roots while embracing the beauty of evolution." As she spoke, she noticed a figure standing at the edge of the crowd. Jarek, the dissenting voice from before. He stood with arms crossed, a skeptical expression on his face. Laura felt a mixture of apprehension and determination. She hoped he could see the love and joy radiating from the celebration. After her speech, the festival continued with a variety of performances, storytelling sessions, and art displays. Laura saw families gathering around the storytelling circle, captivated by tales that bridged the gap between their cultures. The air was electric with excitement and possibility. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the plaza, the performers took their places for the final act, a collaborative piece that would culminate the festival. Musicians from both cultures joined together, blending their sounds into a harmonious melody that resonated in the hearts of everyone present. Laura stood at the front of the stage, her spirits soaring as she watched the musicians unite in a beautiful celebration of their shared journey. The energy was palpable, and she could feel the audience swaying, lost in the moment. She closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her, embracing the beauty of this collective experience. But as the final notes lingered in the air, Laura spotted Jarek once more, his expression softer now, contemplative rather than confrontational. Gathering her courage, she approached him. "Jarek," she said gently, "I'm glad you came." He turned to her, his eyes reflecting a mix of uncertainty and curiosity. "I didn't think I would enjoy it," he admitted, his voice low. "But I see now that this means something to many people." Laura smiled, grateful for his honesty. "It's not just about celebration, it's about connection. We can honor our cultures while growing together. That doesn't mean losing our identities, it means embracing the richness of our stories." Jarek nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "I've been so focused on protecting what we have that I lost sight of the beauty of collaboration. I see the joy in this, but I worry, how do we ensure that our voices remain heard?" Laura felt a wave of empathy wash over her. "We continue to create spaces for dialogue, like the forums and workshops. We listen to each other and ensure that all voices are represented. This festival is just the beginning. We need to keep the conversations going, foster understanding, and build trust." As they spoke, the warmth of the festival enveloped them, and Lyra realized that this moment held potential for change. If Jarek could embrace the spirit of unity, perhaps others could too. They stood together, watching the crowd celebrate, the shared joy weaving a thread between their cultures. As the evening drew to a close, Laura joined her fellow ambassadors on stage for the final farewell. "Thank you all for being here today, for sharing your stories, and for embracing this journey together. This festival represents our commitment to building bridges, to fostering understanding, and to celebrating the beauty of our cultures." The crowd erupted into cheers, their energy echoing in the night. Laura's heart swelled with gratitude, knowing that their efforts had sparked something profound, a desire for connection that would echo far beyond this festival. In the weeks that followed, the impact of the Festival of Unity rippled through the community. New friendships blossomed, and conversations continued to flourish. Lyra and her fellow ambassadors organized follow-up workshops that focused on deeper discussions about identity, culture, and the importance of embracing change. As the cold winter months approached, Lyra noticed a palpable shift within her community. The dialogue had opened doors to understanding, and she felt a sense of hope as individuals began to share their stories more openly. Some Zephyrians, inspired by the festival, organized events to showcase their traditional practices, inviting humans to participate and learn. Laura felt the spirit of collaboration spreading beyond the plaza, igniting a fire within the community. She reached out to schools, encouraging students to engage in cross-cultural projects that highlighted their unique perspectives. The children embraced the opportunity, crafting presentations that celebrated their shared values and traditions. Yet, even amidst this positive momentum, challenges lingered. There were still voices of dissent, and some individuals struggled to embrace the evolution of their culture. Lyra understood that change takes time, and she remained committed to addressing concerns while fostering open conversations. One evening, while reflecting on the journey thus far, Laura gathered with her fellow ambassadors. They met at their usual spot, the cozy cafe that had become a hub of ideas and collaboration. The warm atmosphere buzzed with anticipation as they discussed their next steps. "We've made incredible progress," Malik began, "but I think we need to address the lingering fears. How can we help those who feel hesitant about this transformation?" Laura leaned in, her mind racing with ideas. What if we organized a series of storytelling nights where people can share their personal experiences related to culture and identity? We could invite both Zephyrians and humans to express their concerns and celebrate their journeys. Kira nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, stories have the power to connect us. We can create a safe space for everyone to share, listen, and learn from each other." As they fleshed out the details, the group felt a renewed sense of purpose. They envisioned evenings filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt connections, an opportunity for individuals to speak their truth while fostering understanding. In the weeks that followed, the storytelling nights became a cornerstone of their efforts. The cafe filled with warmth and camaraderie as community members gathered to share their narratives, each story a unique thread in the fabric of their shared experience. Laura took the lead one evening, her heart racing with anticipation as she opened the night. Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we gather not only to share our stories, but to celebrate the beauty of our journeys. Each of us carries a unique narrative that shapes who we are, and together, we can weave a tapestry of understanding. As individuals took turns sharing their experiences, the atmosphere shifted. Vulnerability filled the room, and participants spoke candidly about their fears, hopes, and dreams. Some expressed concerns about losing their cultural identity, while others celebrated the newfound connections they had formed. Laura felt a wave of gratitude wash over her as she listened. These moments of honesty created a powerful bond among participants. It was clear that storytelling had the potential to bridge gaps and foster empathy in ways she hadn't anticipated. As the evenings unfolded, the storytelling nights became a catalyst for change. Individuals who had once felt isolated began to connect, forming friendships that transcended cultural boundaries. The narratives shared were filled with laughter and tears, hope and resilience. One night, Jarek stepped up to share his story, and Laura felt her heart race with anticipation. He spoke of his initial resistance, the fear of change that had clouded his vision, and how attending the Festival of Unity had shifted his perspective. I realized that protecting our culture doesn't mean shutting others out, he shared, his voice steady. It means inviting others in to enrich our lives. As he spoke, Laura noticed a ripple of understanding among the audience. People nodded, their expressions reflecting a sense of realization. Jarek's words resonated deeply, and she felt a warmth swell within her, a testament to the power of vulnerability and openness. With each storytelling night, the threads of connection grew stronger, intertwining lives in unexpected ways. Laura's vision of unity began to materialize, creating a sense of belonging that transcended cultural differences. Yet, challenges remained. Some members of the community were still hesitant, skeptical of the changes unfolding around them. Laura knew they needed to continue the dialogue, addressing concerns while nurturing the spirit of collaboration. One day, as winter blankets fell softly over the town, she gathered her fellow ambassadors for a brainstorming session. We need to actively engage those who remain uncertain. What can we do to bridge that gap? Malik suggested organizing a community art project that invited people from both cultures to collaborate. Art has the ability to transcend language and cultural barriers. We could create a mural together that reflects our journey toward unity. The idea ignited excitement among the group. They envisioned a large wall in the town center where individuals could come together, painting their interpretations of unity and connection. Laura felt a sense of urgency. This project could be a visual representation of their commitment to collaboration. As they began preparations for the mural, Laura reached out to community members, inviting them to participate in the project. She knew that fostering inclusivity was essential. They needed to ensure that everyone felt their voice could be heard through art. On the day of the mural painting, a palpable energy filled the air. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the space as individuals gathered with paintbrushes and colors. People from both cultures arrived, ready to collaborate and share their visions. Lyra stood at the front, welcoming everyone. Today, we come together to create something beautiful, a mural that represents our shared journey. Each stroke of paint will tell a story, reflecting our unity while honoring our unique identities. As the painting began, laughter and conversation filled the air. Individuals shared ideas, collaborated on designs, and worked side by side, creating a vibrant canvas that would soon become a testament to their shared commitment. Throughout the day, Laura moved among the participants, soaking in the joy of collaboration. She witnessed friendships blooming, barriers breaking down, and an undeniable sense of belonging forming. The mural evolved into a masterpiece, intertwining symbols and colors that represented both cultures. Hands worked together, creating a breathtaking visual narrative that spoke of unity and hope. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow of the finished mural, Lyra felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Standing before the mural, the community gathered to celebrate their accomplishment. Lyra addressed the crowd, her voice filled with emotion. "This mural is more than just paint on a wall. It's a reflection of our journey, a testament to our commitment to embrace one another, to learn from each other, and to celebrate our shared humanity." The crowd erupted into applause, and as Lyra looked around, she saw smiles, tears, and a sense of pride radiating from everyone. They had created something beautiful together, a symbol of unity that would stand as a reminder of their shared journey. As the days turned into weeks, the mural became a gathering place for community members. People visited to share stories, enjoy art, and connect with one another. The energy surrounding it was palpable, drawing individuals from all walks of life. Lyra felt a renewed sense of hope. The connections forged through art, storytelling, and collaboration had created a vibrant community united in their diversity. She knew there would still be challenges ahead, but the foundation they had built felt unshakable.